Greetings, everybody. It's Ville Valo, aka VV. And at the moment, you have the pleasure of listening to Rock Overdose.
So, welcome to Rock Overdose Greece. How are you?
I'm getting there, slowly but surely. It's been a busy couple of years, and yeah, I've been shoveling snow here in Finland. It's been a very snowy, wintry, cold, winter that we've had here after many a year. So I'm not complaining at all. It's good to do this for a time being, and then it's good to, travel a bit to tour again. So yeah, it's all good.
That's great. So, Mr. Valo, you visited Greece last year, attending
Mhm.
Rockway Festival.
Yes.
What are your memories from this appearance and from our country in total?
Uh, we played the same festival. I think it might have been the first year of the festival with him. I remember it was quite different to set up, but I remember the place because it's beautiful with the mountains and everything. And I I I think the festival we played really early in the day, so we can have all the lights setting up the mood and all that stuff. But I think it was a good way of maybe introducing myself to some new people and reminding some people that know me from him that I'm still here. I still make music, and I can be half decent in what I do on an occasion. And but I'm super happy that we're able to come over again and do those two shows, one in Athens and one in Thessaloniki, to be able to play full sets with our light show and all that stuff. Greece has always been a great country for him, especially. We flew over there, I think, in 2000 or 2001 for the first time. It was a long time ago, and it's a special country. People really show their appreciation. They sing along really loud, and they party and they have a good time, and which was very different from the audiences we have in Finland, who are very sort of like this. They don't do much. And so yeah, it's a good country, and that's the reason. I remember the gig at Ligabetos we did many years ago. That was beautiful because such a historical place, and in Finland we're a younger country, so our like architectural history doesn't go so far. We don't have the history of philosophy that you have, and so it felt good to be able to fly uh, from from nowhere, literally, to the cradle of civilization back in the day, and it still does feel good.
That's great. So, Greek fans respect you a lot and consider you as a legend. Have you ever imagined that you will reach this status?
Oh man, some people have been using the word legendary, which to me feels weird, but I think it's just about the fact that I've been around for a long time. And I never sort of went away. I've been around since mid 90s, so it's nearly 30 years, and that's quite a long time in the world of music. I'm happy that some people have followed me throughout the thick and thin. They've been there for the good albums and the bad albums and everything between, and they've stuck to it, and they've never let me go. So that's a special thing, and that's something an artist can only hope for.
Mhm. So, Valo, what do you miss the most from him?
Um, I think I miss the camaraderie, the friendship, and the sense, especially when we began the band, the first few years, that we were like a band of brothers, and we hung out a lot, and it was all very new to all of us, and also the fact that we were very young. So it was that's the thing I kind of miss, because working, especially recording music by myself, is cool because I don't have to work out calendars or schedules or ask anybody for permission. So I can do whatever I want to whenever I want to, and that's great. But I still miss the jokes and the brainstorming and the overall hanging out together. That was such an important part of him.
I see. So, in case of a probable him reunion, what will be the reason behind this? A tour, a new record?
Uh, to be honest with you, I don't know. I think that the cool thing about him is also that we ended it at a time that we were still friendly. You know, we hadn't turned into enemies, and and you have to sort of, you don't want to push it too much. You know, getting back together, and then all of a sudden the old wounds open, and you really start to hate each other. So you got to be really, really careful. I've heard and read about it happen to so many bands so many times. So it would have to be for a very good reason to feel that it really that him really needs to come back for whatever it might be, whatever the reason might be. But at the moment, I'm not too interested in it,
Mhm.
and I'm still on good terms, especially with Miguel. And then the first keyboard player of him, his name is Anto. So those are basically the best friends I have. So so we do discuss the old days on an occasion, but I don't. I think that, you know, the old semi-legendary days, they are legendary also because they are in the past. So you don't want to disturb the past too much. It's not a good
Mhm.
idea.
But the basic fact is that you have a very good relationship between each other.
Yeah, yeah, we're okay. I haven't been in touch with the guitar player, Linde, or the keyboard player. They all have their own things going, their own families and their own new bands and whatever. But it was also within the band. It's people change and their priorities change and their lives change, and it's not as intense as it was when you were younger.
Mhm.
And when, yeah, yeah. I think the important distinction is that if a band starts to feel like work, then you got to do something about it.
Mhm. I see. So, which are your inspirations as an artist?
Um, all sorts. I get excited about a song by whatever kind of artist or genre, or I get excited about a movie or a TV series or or a book. It's the usual things, more or less. I think it's important to try to keep your ears and your eyes open to everything, and we all have our own filters through which we we get the information in, and all that information comes out, in my case, through music. So I wouldn't say that there's one inspiration. Black Sabbath are always there.
Yes,
Um,
I see the
uh,
record next to you.
yeah, 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 it's my totem. But yeah, it's all sorts. You know, I think I'm inspired about the fact that I can do what I can do. You know, it's not something you can take for granted, especially after COVID. It was a hard time for a lot of us. So it's yeah, special to be able to do this for a living. You know, still sing and still travel the world and all that. So it's a I'm inspired about I'm inspired of the audiences get to meet and all that stuff. So
Mhm.
inspiration is everywhere.
Mhm. I see. So, Neon Noir is your first solo album as Ville Valo.
Hmm.
You have a long time career and it was released in 2023. Why did it take you so long to release a solo content?
Um, Well, it's when him split up, that was kind of the first hours of 2018. And then we had COVID for 3 years. You couldn't really release anything because I wanted to tour. And also because I hadn't done anything solo before properly. Um, it took a while to find a record company. It took a while to convince people that, you know, I'm still worth my whatever, worth my salt. And it is a long process, and especially it was a long process because you couldn't meet people. It was all through Zoom and Teams and whatnot. And yeah, weird times. That's the reason, and also the fact that since I was doing it by myself for the first time, it just took me longer. I was looking for different sounds and different ideas for maybe a bit longer than I would have with the band. But I've been active all the time. I just wanted to make sure that when the album comes out, that it would be a good one.
Mhm. I see. And what about the feedback from the album, from the audience, and from the press?
I think it's been really good. I think being away for a while was a good idea. That people that people don't get too bored with um, with an artist. That it felt that there was maybe you know I could fit into the rock genre. Nobody had really taken that slot yet, and yeah, it was the press worked. We weren't ever sort of like the pet band of any press anywhere with him. So I'd be really surprised how much journalists have liked neo noir, and then I'd be surprised how people in general, the audiences, how they've sort of understood what I've been going for with the album, which is to have a sort of transitional moment between him and the future, and that is it's a very heartfelt and very honest and undiluted album, and for better or for worse, it is who I am musically speaking, and you don't have to like it, but maybe you can appreciate the musical honesty.
Mhm. We do.
Thank you.
So, what about the lyrics? What's the lyrical meaning behind the new album? Is there any particular thematic behind the songs?
Um, I think it was maybe trying to find the positive out of the negative. A lot of it had to do probably with COVID. Uh, Most of my songs usually deal with the matters of the heart. So they're very romantic, they're very sentimental and emotional because that is how I am as a person. That is the kind of music and that is the kind of art I appreciate. And so so that's a given that I can't avoid that happening. But I think the pandemic had something to do with the fact that we were all under this great black cloud, or a lot of times I consider the COVID being like a black hole. It sucked the time. It just like it was a weird, vacuum that everybody was in. And I think lyrically and musically speaking, I was trying to kind of maybe celebrate the fact that even though we're all having a hard time, and that the sort of like nobody's perfect, and we're all broken in our own beautiful little ways, and 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 that instead of hiding those things, we should celebrate them, because those little cracks we all have in ourselves, those are the ones that give us our identity a lot of times, and those are a lot of times the interesting things about us. So yeah, it's about celebrating the negative, and by celebrating the negative, hopefully turning that into something positive. That's a weird answer, but it's a complex topic for myself as well. And a lot of times lyrics aren't, even though when you write, you're not, it can mean many things at the same time. I like, it can be verbally interesting, but there might be some subtext, some underlying stories, and usually there is. So and I think that that's very important.
Mhm. That's great. So, what are your next plans?
Stay healthy. It's only a few weeks to go to since we're going to fly over to Australia and New Zealand, and then over to Athens, and then we're playing about 32 shows and finishing the tour in London in early May. And after that, I don't know. And that's the cool thing about it. I'm probably going to start working on new music. I've already started humming and strumming a couple of new ideas, and it's yeah, I'm sort of like a racehorse, with the blinkers on. So I want to concentrate on the tour, and that's
Mhm.
that's the important thing now. And then once the tour is over, then Neo Noir is over for me. I don't have to think about that album anymore, and I don't have to think about the songs, which means that I'm free to do whatever I choose. And if I'm reading the horoscope right, I think that I'm going to be working on music, and it won't be that much different. So it will still be emotional, it will still be melancholy,
Mhm.
and but no idea yet when that music might come out, and in which form. But definitely going to be working on some music, and I think the quicker the better. The whole touring thing gave me sort of gave me more. I'm excited about the fact that people being interested in what I do. You know, if it wouldn't have gone so well, it might be that I wouldn't be as keen on doing it more. So it's a matter of survival. It has to be.
I see. So, what about the live shows here in our country? What should the Greek fans expect from your live shows?
But it's good. Like this show we did last year. It's going to be a combination of the new and the old. We're playing half of the set will be hymn tracks, and the half of the set will be the VV things, and it's a this summer around, since they are club shows, we're able to bring in our own light shows, and we're able to play a bit longer and have the mood set up a bit nicer than, for example, at festivals, because you're there during the light of the day and all that. But well, I think it's yeah, you can, if you know what I do, it's like that and more. so 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 it's not it will be familiar. Even if you don't know the VV tracks and you know some hymn songs, there will be a lot of familiar songs and a lot of familiar vibes. And at least that's what I'm hoping for.
Mhm. So, are you aware of the official Greek fan club, which is called Heartagram Greece?
Yeah, well, there's been a lot of hymn-related clubs around the world, and some of them were competing against each other at times. But yeah, the Greek one. I remember they've been sending us stuff, and they've held parties and stuff like that. And it's quite special. And so I humbly thank everybody for who's involved for the solidarity and the continued support. You know, the fact that they've been around for such a long time. It's very special.
Mhm. Heartagram Greece organizes two parties at Athens
Yeah.
and Thessaloniki. Would you like to send a
Mhm.
message to the fan club and invite them to the parties?
Oh man. Well, I don't have the info for the fan clubs meet, so I think I'd love to come as well if there is a chance. And it'd be nice to see all of you. Be nice to listen to some good music, and hopefully also see you at the gig. So yeah, I can't wait, because I actually didn't know about the parties. This is the first I've heard. So yeah, I think last time around there was a party. I think some of the crew and some of the band went, but I was sleeping. I was doing the Sleeping Beauty thing.
So, I don't know if you want to add something else through this interview.
No, well, I think we covered everything that's necessary for the time being. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, and I hope to meet you personally in Greece.
See you in a few weeks.
Okay, bye
Cool.
bye.
Bye bye.